December. So if you're interested, maybe just talk to Chad and Chad can send my boss a note, get you set up, get you an interview or something. If you're interested.
Yeah, do you want to say a few things about what you guys do, to where you're located, and?
We're located in Eden Prairie, right off 212 and Flying Cloud Drive, Shady Oak Road. Um, we're a lighting manufacturer's representative, so what we do is we have not just Lithonia, we have like probably 50 other brands of lighting that we try to get on the jobs that are currently going on. What we'll do is we'll give them a layout, we'll give them options, and try to get our products on these projects. And it kind of starts right here for us. Some will have a big warehouse, they have no idea what they want. They got some old existing lighting, and we'll present them with 3-4 options of either LED or fluorescent high bays and things like that, and hopefully they buy from us. So if you're interested, just let Chad know, and I think you can get a hold of me or Jeff, or we'll get it over to the chief and see where it goes. So you guys all have done quite a bit of this. Is there anything that been like difficult, or you have a lot of questions about, or yeah, you got a lot of this done already.
Andrew, what I did, I walked them through first how to do it by hand.
Mm-hmm.
We draw things, and then we went to the lumen method, and we dropped the lumen method like you
Sure.
showed us a long time ago.
Yeah, I see that over here.
Yeah, and then we did the fixtures. We have a Word document fixture, Mr. W, if you wanna. It's right in there. If you click, just a second here. If you go here, there's a light document open for you. Right here,
There.
so that will specify the location and the catalog number here for the fixtures that we use.
Okay.
So
Did
they already have it.
They already built their schedule.
Yeah, they put this. Yeah. So
Oh,
they know how to build the schedule and all stuff. Sorry, I stole your thunder, did I?
yeah. I don't know if they would like to learn more here. You did the site. You did exterior.
Is there a way to make the count zones, to hide them, so they're not clogged up plans?
Yeah. No. Yeah. If you say you get done, if you just right over here, you got these are basically your layers. There's only 4 of them. So right here, it's calculation zone. If you just click on, you can do this a couple ways. You can go here and go down to properties. It'll bring up all our calc zones. Now on this one, we only have 2. If you just kind of, click on the first one, hold shift, select them all. There's this active button here. If you just turn it off and hit OK, they'll disappear. They're still there, so you won't have to go back in and add them all again. You can go back in and turn them on. Or if you want to turn individual ones on and off, you'd have it like right here. Say for some reason you wanted just this calc zone off, you can just select that one, and the same thing, turn it off. Did you guys already build? I seen you had a list of all the fixtures. Did you build most of your schedule? Will you be using this schedule on other projects down the road, or will the types be different?
We're going to be using LEDs next project. So.
Okay, so they will be a little
different.
different.
Idea to talk about exporting the schedule too.
Yeah, if you're, I don't know, if you were a architect or engineer, what you would do, we try to get in their office and try to have engineers. Usually engineers will have their own schedule of lighting. They'll have their A, B, C, D. They'll have types of fixtures that they use on primarily all their projects. Well, we try to get in there. So for something like them, this would help them with is once they build this thing, you can actually export this, and save it. And then when you open up another project, you just bring in the drawing. You can just bring the schedule in, so you don't got to sit and go find all these files. And that'll save you, depending how big the schedule is, can save you a lot of time.
Did you guys see that one? Just easy.
Just export. I don't know. You just save it to your desktop.
Yeah.
Schedule or something. let's save. I guess we could, where's your visual?
You end up with
Oh,
a lot of duplicates. You know, as you go through and you use the lumen method to do your different rooms.
yeah,
You know, so I mean, I've gone through and I've renamed the label, you know, A, B, C, D, but I have a ton of duplicates, you know, and it just keeps on adding them and adding them and adding them. So then when you export it, then you get all that too.
yeah, what I'll do with that, I'll show you how to kind of fix that. Well, here would be, I guess we made, say this is a new drawing, you just come in here and import our schedule that we put on our desktop. It just brings it in, and you're done there.
So it saves you tons of time building all these schedules.
That's kind of a helpful tool. If you just make a schedule, maybe down the road on your next project here, you might save you some time there. As far as like if we did the lumen method, let's see, let's just do a couple quick. So perfect. It's already done. So I'm just going to show you like if we have multiple, like he was asking. So we're just going to say we have this room here, and then we're going to have another room of the same fixture. So this was just for an example to show you kind of, you were saying how you get the two duplicate fixtures in your schedule. Now he's talking, so on our schedule, it automatically brought in these two. They're both the same. Well, that's just going to be cumbersome. You're going to have to go through, and it's going to be confusing. So what I'll do is I'll come in and I'll relabel one. Let's just say this is type C, even though it is the type E. If you just do this, well, actually, we don't even need to do that. So we already had our type B in our schedule. We'll just leave that alone. So what you can do is just come into edit, into properties. And if you draw a box around just the fixtures here, it'll select them all. And then if you right click, it'll bring up this menu. And what you can do here is you could change them all over to B. And now hit OK. They're all Bs. See how you got this one is 0 now, and this one is 0. So then you'll have to go back into your schedule and just delete out that one and get rid of this one. And every time you use the lumen method, you'll have to do that, so you don't end up with duplicates. We can get rid of these for all. Do you want to, did you guys go into printing at all, getting this on like a title block and all that stuff? Okay. So when you get your project done, once you get all your rooms built up and you run your calc, you just calc out these two rooms. So let's say we're done here. We got to put this on a plan to give to Chad or whoever. Up here, there's a little printer button, print editor. You'll come into here. Now I don't know. You guys have a plotter here, right? Yeah. So you'll have that.
We do 11 by 17.
You do 11 by 17.
This should be the 500 HP. What is it? 5200?
52. This one.
Yep.
Okay. So once you're in here, you just select the printer. Sometimes I'll end up making like a PDF file of this, so you can send it off to people who may not have AutoCAD or things like that. It's just going to be a driver up here. Right here, just lets you select your paper size, and you guys do 11 by 17. So this one's different than mine, but we should be able to figure this out. Where's the paper size? So letters here. 11 by 17 is up at the top. So that'll make our, well, now it's upside down.
If you click on the icon, it will flip it, I believe.
This here?
Yeah, right there, right
Oh, okay. So that's the way you'd want it, make it look more like a plan. Then from here, you just got a blank canvas. This insert button, usually I start with the title block. So you'll insert a title block. You can name it whatever, if you got a name for the project, or I don't know, commercial project.
And then for you guys, you're gonna put your name and the designer, your name and your team name and your project, your team number.
And then, yeah, usually I'll write the name of the job. I'll write, what kind of lighting, if it's interior lighting or exterior, and then I'll usually put the, like Minneapolis, Minnesota on the bottom. Here, if you had a company logo, if you just double click on that logo or a team logo, you can bring in your own picture.
So it's a JPEG file.
Add your initials. I usually just write as noted in the scale, because what it does when we bring in our plan view, it's going to have a scale right underneath the drawing. And then if you're going to do this multiple times, what you're able to do, like if I usually leave, this would be blank. Bring in my company logo, I have my initials here. You can actually save this as a default, so every time you bring up a title block, it's always there and ready for you. Kind of like using the same one in AutoCAD. Now we're spinning our wheels. So it's not there. If you just click on the screen, it'll come in. From here, if you just go to insert again, everything's going to be under insert for what we're doing here. I'll bring in my schedule. This might be tricky if you guys have a lot of types. If it's going off the page here, what you can do then is just, take A through D, leave them on, but then take, E through K, turn them all off. So we can just do this. We'll turn B off. So we'll get rid of that. And then let's say we had to add, this is, if we had room, we could turn A off here and we'd have another list starting if we needed two lists to make it fit on a page. I'm going to delete that. I'll turn B back on.
Can you go back and edit my block layout?
Yeah, if you just double click on it here, you can go back in and change it. So after you can set this up however you want. I usually just have everything up here in the top left as far as, so I brought in my schedule. Now I'm going to bring in my stats. That's going to have a list of all my rooms, and break down averages and all the actual numbers you calced out.
And can I interrupt you just for a second, because you're right into where if you guys go to the package that I gave you, it tells you how I want you to do it. If you want to follow up, you can go to page number 5, circle page number 5 in the package that I gave you, and it says lighting calculation usual using visual, and I'll give it to you here too, so be both in the same. That's what I would like you guys to print from it. And in page circle, this says first floor plan view with calculation in one sheet. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sheets, 11 by 17 that we're gonna do. So here's the right in here that what we're asking them to do. And these are just guidelines. Everybody's there. Circle 5. Okay. So you can build it right away with the anvil.
Okay, so you guys are going to break it down into individuals. So I don't know how you want to center it or however. So you're going to have first floor statistics and fixture schedule. Well, that's what we have here. I'm sure you guys are going to have a lot more than 2 types. By that one sheet, looks like you had a few. So this is going to take up a full page. So we're going to need to make multiple pages for this. So you're going to have just your stats and your schedule on one page. Now to make a new page, because we're just going to keep making, this will make this a little quicker too. If you hit page, you can hit new and it'll give you another blank sheet. If you hit copy, it'll make a new page. It'll bring everything over, so you don't got to change all your you know, all your title blocks and stuff, and you can just come in and delete all this stuff off. And it looks like you just have a first floor plan view with calc points. So come up to insert and illustration. Right here they give you plan views, elevation views, 3D views. A snapshot would be if you want to take a picture of a certain area. It'll just bring in that. It's kind of like a window. So we're just going to do a plan view, and then you'll just left click in one corner, drag it to the other, and it'll bring it in. Once it's in, you'll want to double click on it, and it'll bring up a menu. Now right now it's telling us basically 1/16 of an inch is a foot. So I'll go, people probably understand a 1/16 is a foot rather than 1 is 16. So I'll go ahead and change that. If you can make it bigger, it'd be nicer, but I don't think it's going to fit on our plan. So if you're going to do 16th, we're going to have to go change something else too, so you guys will be able to read this. Right here, this A button. So you got all your fixtures in your schedule A, B, C, D. If you hit this A, it'll turn those on, so you'll be able to identify what fixture you have in what room. This is numbers your luminaires as you place them. I rarely ever will use that. This makes your fixtures fill in, so they're all blue. That'll be something you'll use in your exterior layout. For the most part, this is good to go. If you wanted to turn your calc points off in here, you can click on this. If you just wanted to show the fixtures and not the numbers. So we got that on here.
Can you go by calc zone?
Turn individual ones off in here.
Per page, if you just by that calc zone, can you have to do a snapshot, or can you actually just do like the calc zone?
Just the calc zone, no backgrounds or anything.
Well, just like if you're doing your calc zone's one room, so you're just taking that one room.
Mm-hmm.
Can you do it by like putting that calc zone in it? I guess.
I'm confused.
Yeah, I think, Aaron, what you're saying is, can you turn a calc zone on and leave another one off?
No, it's just because you're making a picture. You're basically doing a picture of what's there for that area. So if you just have like one big room and you just want to do that one big room.
Yeah, no, we can show you.
Six, and just say, can I do open office 126? And
Yeah.
Just take that area.
We'll do that on another page. So we'll just copy this over. We'll get rid of this. Then we'll have to, we're going to go back to the main area, I guess. So I think this is what you're asking. So let's just say we wanted to show just this room. You're going to want to turn the background on so it's editable. Now, visuals kind of, if you got solid lines, it's just going to select all solid lines. So it could be the whole area. But if you come up to tools here, under snapshot, you're able to make a new snapshot. Select new, you can label it. So if I just right click, I'll just say 116. If you select just this room, everything in red is in your snapshot now. So I'll label it 116.
So it's like doing calc zone for that just area.
Mm-hmm. So if we made that, we right click, now it's saved. Now we can go back in our print editor, and then we'll go to page 3, the one we made. And if you come to insert a snapshot, 116 will be there. Now you can just bring in an individual room. So if you wanted to do it that way. Let's make sure we get everything here. So now our background's blue. If you're going to be printing these out, you're not going to want it blue. So that's if you just make this uneditable, then you won't move anything around while you work, and it'll look better on a sheet of paper. So we did all that. We looked at this. We got the scale set up. Another thing that'll help clean up your drawing, I noticed. I don't know if you guys have, you guys all have like a decimal next to your in your numbers here. With your calc and lighting, you know, we don't need to get that accurate. On your site lighting, you're gonna want to, because a 1/2 foot candle in the site is gonna be kind of your minimum. But if you go to properties here and select all your calc zones, you can turn this just to a 0, so you'll have nice even numbers. And also, being that we're gonna be at a 16-inch scale, if we go and print this out right now, with your calc points on these, see the row spacing and column spacing, I would change these to 4. Just because when you go to print this thing, they're gonna be all mashed together and it's gonna just be all black. It's just gonna wash everything out. You do that, you're gonna have less calc points in the room, but it's sufficient to what you need to see. Yeah, if you're putting this on a bigger sheet of paper and you got to like an 1/8 inch scale, 2 by 2 would be fine. It's just that with a 16-inch scale, you can't read 4 by 4 calc points. It just doesn't. They just blend together. I don't even know. We could probably, yeah, because you can see on here, you can actually kind of see the points. Rather, as before, it just looked like a big red square. So we clean that up a little bit. What else do we got? If you needed to add notes to your plan, say you want to say light fixtures in room 116 are mounted at 8 feet, just so people will know where you're making this calc at. You know, the fixture's at 8 feet. You're going to want people to know it's not at 35 feet. You can add a set of notes as you please. Just click OK and it'll bring it in. All this other, if you needed to add a picture, you could do that. That'll just give you a square, and then it'll bring up a file. What else can we do?
For the lumen method, like on that open office area, that's such a weird shaped room.
Mhm.
But you want the 2 by 2 ceiling tiles in there. You just have to make the area bigger so you can drop the fixtures where a tile would actually be.
Yeah, what you would do, I wouldn't use the lumen method. If you wanted to add tile to that room, there'd be 2 ways you could do it. You could build a big square room in the lumen method, bring it in and lay it on top, and then just trim off the edges, or you're gonna have to actually draw the lines in yourself. There's really no quick way to get that. You guys are all pretty up to speed here. And then you're gonna do all the same for your exterior lighting too. It's gonna be all the same stuff you and Chad and no, I've kind of gone over. We don't need this page 3 right now. So see how down here it's saying 2 or 3. That might kind of get confusing, so you just want to delete that page, and then it'll just say 2 of 2. So you don't have people are wondering where sheet 5 is when you only have 4. What else should we got? Any other questions on the interior?
Andrew, when we export, we always export it from here,
Mm-hmm.
and you multiply by 12 to accommodate
Yep.
for
The scale.
the scale. Is that the proper way, or is there?
No, that's the way you would do it. I don't know why it does that. Why when you export it, it gets so small like that.
Now,
Do you export out of here or do you export out of the print editor?
we export out of here,
Okay,
and then we multiply by 12.
that's fine too. If you say you wanted the schedule, you can export out of here, and what you see on the screen is what you'll have on the export. So it'll actually export the title block and all your stuff.
So if we set a plan view at say 1/4,
Mm-hmm.
which matches Revit, whatever we put in Revit, We don't have to multiply it again by 12, or?
I think you still would have to
So that's
multiply it
the limit?
again.
There is no value, okay.
Hmm.
Now, the other thing, last year is, it was really cool when we export to Revit to have the fixture type right next to the fixture. It's easy, so the students can drop the fixture right. How can we do that inside without being in the component editor or the print editor? Can you show like if you get out of the print editor here?
See, I would just, you can't turn the label on that. Export from here, and the
Okay,
labels
that's
will
the
come with the
advantage of
fixture.
doing that.
Yep. And if you don't want the title block, obviously you can delete it in Revit or AutoCAD, or you can just delete it here and then export, and then all your types will be on.
I've never did it from here, so it doesn't matter what scale are you doing it here?
So we got our scale here. We would export, select all, and it's just going to export the what you see on the screen.
And then when we go there, we multiply again by 12 because I don't
Yeah, you're going to want to check your scale
check the scale.
and multiply it out as you need to. All your guys' rooms are probably just a flat ceiling, like this room. Nothing is a slope ceiling. If you had to draw, I don't know if you'd want to, if there even be any interest in that. They do underneath help. I don't know if it'll link or not for us. If we click here. This is actually, you guys all probably came here to download the program. There is actually, oh, let's see what we get here. Oh, that's not what we want. So I think it'd be under the lessons here, training videos is probably what we wanted. So if you're having trouble and you're trying to get things done, if you just come to this website, pretty much everything you probably went over with Chad or myself, they're boring as heck, but they can help if you get confused. You know, they'll teach you if you really want to draw a dome, or if you wanted to draw, you know, a slope ceiling like a church or something like that. This would teach you, all these would teach you how to do it. Where did we go?
You go all the way down,
All the way down.
yeah, it's there, should be there. There we go.
Okay, you had a 3D view also with no calc points. We can look at that. I guess we will have 3 pages for each. So I will just go to page 2, copy this page, delete out the plan view. You know, over here you could write in 3D view or whatever you were looking at. So I have a blank. If you come to insert, down to illustration again, and then a 3D view, I usually do a southwest. You could probably do it any way. Just think it gives you a better view this way. Now, the 3D view won't actually be to scale. So what you can do here is type in as big as it'll let you go on the screen, because there's no point in just wasting paper space if you can get a better view of this thing. I don't know if we can get to 10 or not. Yeah, we can get probably 11. Being this isn't going to be to scale, you can kind of cheat it like that. It says with no calc points on your sheet here. You want to turn those off. Just turn them off and they'll be on. I don't know if you want to have the labels on. You put the labels on, and you'll have your 3D view. But if you see down here, it says Southwest view right underneath it, not to scale. If you want to get rid of that, you could actually just delete it. there any other specific questions? No? Any, do you guys wanna look at, did you do your exterior already?
I'll open those here for you. Rendering, can we render here?
There is a beta version of Visual, it's not available
Okay,
to
it's not
people,
available.
but I do have one at the office, it's really not, very good yet, but
Okay.
it is coming, so maybe down the road.
Okay,
Then we'll
so
have
now we can't.
Right now, no, you can't. It's pretty generic still. They started working on it a couple years ago and it's still not done.
I can, flash the, can open it for you.
Yeah, we can just take a look at that, see if we can.
Yeah, file open. Yes, we'll save it.
I was just when I was showing the schedule.
Oh, is that the schedule?
That was just a.
No?
No.
Okay. Okay, and then, exit this. I go file, open,
You need what, like 40?
and save that one. I like the way you did the, it's based on a little bit, shows you much better. Yeah. As long as we're here, do you just say something about the maximum average, how do you guys treat them, or you can do this on the site too?
Yeah, I think the site will be a better way to look at
Okay,
it.
here you go, here's the site that we did.
So on your site, it looks like you're using an HID source. Because doesn't look too bad. You're not doing anything over here.
We have a perimeter light,
Over here,
yeah, and we didn't use the right one, we just grabbed
Okay.
anyone.
I can see. So for this, you use the same thing. This is supposed to be mounted on the wall, right?
Yep, and we have a Carol number for it too,
Okay.
and,
That's on the.
we can go switch that one, give me 1 second here. Yep, in the Word document. Perimeter light. Mechanical light, exterior exits, exterior doors, canopies. Thought we used the,
I think you'll be fine.
anyway, I thought we had exterior doors, I think that's it, 544. That makes sense, 544. I think that's what we did.
Okay.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah, we can add this to the schedule. So over here, I don't know if you guys have the same thing on your screen. This light here, currently right now, it's the same as your pole fixtures in the lot. Obviously, that's not, doesn't look right. You wouldn't have a pole going through the building. So you guys actually have, on page 544, you have a fixture selected for your perimeter / door light, I guess. We're just gonna go ahead and add that. We come to new here and go back one. I don't know if it'll bring you actually back two. Go to wall mounted. And this is a line of product, the WSD, WSR, WSQ. They're all gonna have like the same optic. They're all gonna perform roughly the same. It just comes down to what shape you wanted. If you wanted the trapezoid or round or like a sphere. We'll just use the WST for this one.
Which manufacturer is that?
This is the Red Out Lithonia. It's on page 544. If you go into Lithonia and then outdoor, under wall mounted.
While you're here, Andrew, can you, like, the rule of thumb of picking the IES file, I mean, is there, I know there's still tons of them. What I told him is you look at the example that they have in the book, is there any other ways of, because there's so many IES files for these fixtures, which one to start with, or? what I told them, there's an example in the book that they go through the catalog number example, and just use this as a sample, most commonly used.
The way it would be determined for a lot of this exterior stuff, it's going to be based on a distribution and a wattage, which that's determined by your mounting restriction. So you can only mount this thing at 7.5 feet. Well, you're not going to want a 400 watt light at 7.5 feet, or you're going to be blind. So for that, you're going to want to use maybe a 50 watt. And if it's over a door, say you want to get it out down the sidewalk, you're going to want to use a forward throw. Now for this one, I don't think we have a mounting restriction. And it's more of a perimeter kind of security light. We could probably get away with, this is a forward throw. I'm thinking a wide throw, so we get a kind of a wash along the perimeter of the building. And these are just pretty self-explanatory. FT is forward. If you look in here in the book as well, it gives you a forward throw, medium throw, and a wide throw. Different lights are going to have different distributions, but for exterior, R2 is going to be like a roadway. So like on your schedule here, I'm just going to add this one too. But you guys used an R3. An R4 is a forward throw. It's just going to shoot as much light forward as it can. An R3 is kind of a cross between an R2 and an R4. As you can see on your plan, it's kind of more wide, but it doesn't throw it as far as forward. So I grabbed the wrong one. We're going to grab a wide throw for the pulse start. That's just the ballast. A couple of years ago, they passed a law where any HID lights, I think it's 150 watts or above, all need to have a pulse start ballast. So you'll want to maybe factor that in. Just leave that there. So we got our wide throw. You click on the symbol. This is kind of helpful to make sure you have your fixture going the right way. It's pretty easy to tell on a pole light, but maybe on these wall packs, you can add an arrow so it shows you which way the light's actually going. I'll turn that on. Give it our light loss. I usually use 0.72 for any metal halide fixture. We can turn on our half-foot candle. I'm just going to go to Edit and Properties, and I'm going to select this fixture here. And right click, and it'll bring up this menu. So right now it's on a 30-foot pole. This is building mounted, so I'm sure it's not probably 30 feet up. Probably more, we'll say 12 feet. So if you just have that one selected and pull down this menu, we're on luminaire 6, which is the fixture that was on that, supposed to be on the wall. We change it to the wall mount, and we can type in our new mounting height of 12. Hit OK, and it adds our thing, but it's in the building. So now you're just going to select move and move it out of the building. So over on the stats, we could maybe talk about this for a second. You guys have a pretty good layout here. So all these numbers, your averages just takes all the points and gives you an average. That's pretty self-explanatory, as long as the maximum is. So you have a 6.1 that's highlighted in red on your plan. That's where you're getting the most light. You're getting contribution from here and here. And then it gives you your minimum as well, which is coming in at a 0.3, or that's on the perimeter at a 0.5, and that's up here in the top right corner, which is fine. A good parking lot layout usually is right around a 1.5 foot candle average with a half foot candle minimum. And then this max to min is just your max and your min combined as a fraction. Try to keep that around 10 to 1. Well, not this one. Down here on average to min, anything under 10 to 1 on a site is going to be good. That's where you're going to want to be. I wouldn't worry too much about this, especially with HID, because with HID you get a big hotspot under the lamp, and it just throws they have higher numbers with the new LED fixtures. You don't get that big hot spot. It's just nice, an even spread. You can get some really low uniformity. That's why you're able to get away with a lower wattage fixture in LEDs than you are with HID. You guys are good there. We did this. Check our height there. We're good. Yeah, everything looks good on this. And we just went over the perimeter, so you probably have all that squared away. Are there any other questions on exterior? Need to go over?
Andrew, do you agree to aiming some of them? Just a little bit of aiming, take a picture and aim it a little bit. if
Sure.
possible?
Uh,
I don't think we touched on aiming any of them. I know Aaron, you did.
let's just.
Say if you wanna, if you don't want it straight, you wanna aim it with a little angle.
So yeah, if we could do this two ways. There's a feature over here, or wait, right here, where you can select a fixture. And this is more for floodlighting, being that these are your shoebox cutoff type parking lot fixtures. Doesn't really pertain, but say you had a grocery store here, and they wanted to mount a couple floodlights on this pole and shine them at the facade here. If you just select the fixture, it'll turn red. And then we can go into a 3D view here from a southwest, and it gives us this aiming angle. We have our ortho on, which is probably a good thing to have on. Otherwise, we can move it all over. We're just gonna aim it at the middle of of this building. You could click on. I just clicked the midpoint over here, so it'll get me directly in the middle of the building, and it'll aim that fixture right at the building there. You can see it kind of aimed right at the building. Or you could, some cities, most cities make you around the Minneapolis area, anyways, have a 90-degree cutoff rule, so they don't want fixtures, at an angle for light pollution. So you're gonna have right now our tilt is 79, and our orientation was minus. So we're just gonna put this back to 0 and 0, and that'll bring us back to our shoebox. Say we wanted to add, some cities allow like a 10-degree tilt. You can just type in 10 degrees, hit enter, and it actually just tilted that up a little bit. Sometimes you can get away with some of that, and I don't know if we gained anything by that or not. Let's see. Okay, let's copy this and see if we gain anything.
Well, these would all be considered white light, right? Not like an amber.
The metal halide is going to be a whiter light, like an LED type, and then the high pressure sodium is going to be your yellow, more industrial looking type fixture. So yeah, if you just kind of look, by tilting that out at 10 degrees, we gained about 10 feet. You can kind of see my template line there. If I line these up right on top of each other, that's a way to get a little more out of your fixture, if the city allows it. We'll just put it back at 0.
But safe design is what you just did, 0, 0.
0, 0, this is a 90-degree cutoff, just so
Unless you know otherwise.
from the air you can't see it, and you're not going to get shine in the face. Yeah, a lot of cities will have like, so like this road out here, they may have, they're all a little different. Some of them allow you to spill like 1 foot candle into the streets. Others are really stringent where you can't have any. What I'll do then is underneath calcs here, I can go to, I can just do a line, and I could just, turn on my endpoint and click, well, maybe we'll use intersection, and click right along the edge of this roadway, and it draws in, say I can't go past this line, and kind of close that off. Well, I'm getting a 0.1 here. So now that tells me I gotta go back in and either try to move my fixtures, or they have some fixtures you can get what's called a house side shield, and it puts a shield on one side of the fixture and then helps you meet these requirements. That's another thing we help people with, with design assistance to meet city codes. And what they'll do is they'll take our site plan like this, and they'll bring it in, put it on their own company title block, and then they'll go have a meeting with the city and say, here's, what we're planning on doing at our business, and if, the city will say yay or nay if it will pass. Otherwise, it'll come back to us. We'll have to change it around again and have another meeting, which adds more time and cost. But
Andrew, if you remember, these fixtures were put at 0.8, what is it, 0.72? Now, day one, right, when you adjusted the lot factor, now day one, these numbers will be higher.
Correct.
Because
So
running
that's
my-
something you might want to look at. A lot of times the city will say in their specification if they can be maintained levels, or if they, some of them like Bloomington is probably the most strict city code in the area here. That you actually have to submit 2 plans to Bloomington. You have to give them 1 plan for initial and 1 plan for a maintained level, so they can get a feel for what they're gonna have right away and down the road, what they're gonna be looking at. Most cities are pretty lax on some of that stuff, but not Bloomington.
When you drew that line, do you want to draw that on the outside line of the street or the inside line?
Typically you would draw it maybe on the inside.
Oh, okay.
I just kind of just chose a line. A lot of the city code will say center of the street, so you'll have to draw a line down the center. If we have, I don't know if you guys have a property line on here or not. This is, yeah, your property line's probably right here. A lot of times too, it'll say you can't have any spill light across your property line. Well, that'd be another thing you could do well, yeah, you could draw your lines around the property line and just right over here. So mine would be, I could rename this, label it street.
And this is not a surface, just a line, just a.
That's just the line here that gives us numbers on if we're getting light trespass or light pollution.
I don't know if you guys can see that there's more to it than just throwing all these beautiful pictures. There's regulations they have to meet. So,
Yeah, for you guys is for what you're doing, obviously you're not going to be following much of that, but yeah, your lot looks just fine. But yeah, down the road, if you're in the design or part of the business, that's things you're going to have to pay attention to. And it gives you it's like having a spec from an owner or an engineer of how they want things. Other than that, what else you want to know?
Any question for Andrew, guys? I think, do you feel comfortable running the calculation till, it's not really a whole lot to it. Really nice. I'm glad, Andrew, you indicated the property line and how to pay attention to property line. In our project, guys, this project, we typically don't we focus on the basics and know how to use the software. What we give you in these projects is basically, I would say, 90% how to run the project. The other 10% is the business part, which is regulations they have to meet. So, if you guys wanna, for bonus, if you wanna do a draw line like Andrew did around the parameters, and what did you say, maintain point in the middle of the street, what, like, Wilmington one?
Yeah, usually it's a half foot candle into the middle of the
Minimum.
street. It'd be a max, half foot candle maximum, so 0.5.
So 0.5 max, so we met the property line here, right? Based
Yep,
on-
based on that, we would meet it over here if this was our property line. Now, it looks like this is your property line and you'd come nowhere close to it.
So
Because
if you
this,
don't
this
draw-
red line here is showing you where everything to that red line, you get a half a foot candle the whole way around that.
So you can tell that this fixture is gonna be throwing light in the
Mhm.
neighbor's yard, that might not be a good design.
Right. For that, we could just say we gotta make another, we'll just show this with a house side shield. So for this one, we'll call it A1. If you come into the photometrics here, there should be one, yeah, right here. So you got you're using a 400M R3. This is the one you're using. We just add the house side shield to it. I don't think it's still gonna pass muster here, but, so we're calculating initial, that's fine, we'll leave that alone. Come in here, and if we go to edit properties, say this one, say we didn't want this one to shine in the neighbor's yard. We could help it a little bit by adding that shield. And see how it cut that off in the back like that a little bit? You're getting a little less spill. Kind of shows you how it changes distribution.
Any question, guys? Any comments? So if you guys are, as Andrew said, they're looking for somebody to hire to do exactly what Andrew's doing here. So if
And-
you're interested, drop me an email, I'll forward it to you. and
Yeah, I'll leave some cards here.
Or
if they-
leave some cards, contact Andrew immediately if you guys want to, or let me know so we can fill the position, so.
Yeah, I don't know when it would be. Obviously, you're gonna be in school here for a while, but like when I started, I started in March. I just worked like 2:30 to 5. All the way, and then right on June, whenever we graduated, I was hired full time, and it's been working out great for me. I don't know exactly what you're all looking for, but it's helped me a lot. So.
Thank you, Andrew, I
Yep.
appreciate it, thanks.
Thank you.
You guys work with a lot of vendors?
We sell through distribution, so we actually have